What's going on, everyone? Coach Aaron here, back again with another video to help you dominate the platform. Today we're going to go over the importance of getting your supplements and your medications checked first before you take it to ensure you don't fail a drug test. So in the United States and in some other countries, supplements are barely regulated and companies can get away with a lot of things like proprietary blends or even having ingredients in the supplement that are not listed on the bottle. So oftentimes you hear about tainted supplements, and sometimes you hear about athletes failing due to tainted supplements. So you want to avoid that. In addition, there are some medications where you have to get a TUE, which stands for Therapeutic Use Exemption, beforehand, so that you don't take the drug test without the TUE and then fail. So we're going to go over the USAPL website and some of the third-party websites to help you look into this kind of stuff and make sure you have all your supplements and medications in check before you compete. So let's head on over to that. All right, I got my computer pulled up over here on the USA Powerlifting website, www.usapowlifting.com. All right, and we have these different sections here that we can go to and look at. So if we look at the About Us section under committees, the first thing you'll see there's a anti-doping committee. So you can always click on that. Lots of links there. You have the Globaldro.com, which we'll go into. You have a link to report doping. You have the learning program for our national team athletes. You have Informed Choice, Informed Sport, and NSF certified products for sport, which are third-party companies that look into supplements to see whether what they're listing on their label is actually what's in there, and if any of those things will cause a failure or not for athletes that are competing in drug-tested sports. Then you have the IPF anti-doping, USADA, WADA, all this information here that you can go into and look at anytime you want. All right, more links down here. So that is the anti-doping. There's also a TUE committee right here, and if for some reason you can't see all the links on the USAPL website, you can always zoom out a little bit, and then you'll see there's a TUE committee as well. So you'll hit on that one, and there'll be additional information here about what a TUE is and how you can apply for it. There's a standard form here, and again, lots of links here to USADA and information about TUEs. Our TUE chairperson, Dr. Chris Hunt, has a TUE report you can look at. So lots of information here as well. Okay, that same page comes under forms. If you go under forms, there's a separate TUE section. So it's just sending you over to the section. So that's just another way that you can look at it. What we want to look at next is that Globaldro website. So I have it right up here, and this is a third-party site that works together with these anti-doping agencies. So Switzerland, Canada, UK, US, New Zealand, Japan, Australia, and they built a system where you can search your medication either by the ingredient or the actual name, and then it'll give you information about whether it's allowed in competition or out of competition, and what it falls under, if it is a banned substance, all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go through right now, we'll go through some examples. So we'll click on United States, and I'll send this over to this page. And then we have some options to pick here. So we have the user type. So we'll pick an athlete. Yeah, I'm talking to you, you're an athlete, put down athlete. Then we're gonna go to sport. Unfortunately for us, powerlifting is not a very popular sport. We are not listed on here other than Paralympic powerlifting right here. But if you go all the way down to the bottom, towards the end, you'll see weightlifting. And weightlifting is very similar to powerlifting, not only in the sport, but what is allowed in competition, out of competition are the same. So just click on weightlifting. And then nation of purchase, you pick United States. If you purchase it in the US, and then you search for what you want. Over here in the bottom left, you'll see some top 5 searches of things people are searching. So we'll just go ahead and search the first one. We start putting in cannabis, and you'll see it'll start giving you recommendations as well. So then you can pick what you want. So we'll just pick cannabis. The first time you go through, you get popped up with this terms and conditions. So make sure you just read that. It tells you that Globaldro is information about medications. It does not give you information on dietary supplements. Dietary supplements can contain prohibited substances, so it's letting you know that. And there's just more information here. If you can't find your medication in Globaldro, that doesn't mean that it's safe to take. It just could be that they don't have it in their system and they need to look into it more. But we'll hit accept and we'll see one result comes up for cannabis here. So we'll click on it. And then when you click on it, you get all the information. So here it'll tell you in competition, it's prohibited, and out of competition, it's not prohibited. So for cannabis, for weightlifting and powerlifting, you're allowed to take it out of competition, but if you take too much of it leading into the competition or during the competition, then you may cause a failure. It also has the water classification here and just other information. And it also says if the status says it's conditional or prohibited, you may need that TUE. So that's basically it. You can go ahead and search whatever else you want. Like I've seen some people talking about Flonase. So you can search Flonase and then you can go and pick what they have there, nasal spray, and then you'll see in competition, not prohibited, out of competition, not prohibited. So let's go in and we'll search something else. We'll search right here, pseudoephedrine. And then you'll get different options here. So if you're taking a certain type or a certain amount, then you can click on that one. But we will just click on this first one right here, the ingredient, and then you'll see in competition prohibited, out of competition not prohibited, and they'll have more information here. It's prohibited for some amount, and it has a little link to the WADA website with their article or the report on that, has the classification, all that kind of stuff. So you'll see people like our out of competition chair, Joanne Craig, posting about this oftentimes when allergy season comes around, to be careful what you're taking, as some of them may cause a failure in competition. So in that case, you might need to apply for a TUE, or you might need to stop taking it at a certain point, or you look into another option that does not have this ingredient in it or any other ingredient that will cause a failure. And then, like I said, you can go in and you could search other things. Sometimes you can search ingredients that are in supplements. So the one I could think of was this DMAA, which is in a lot of pre-workouts, especially a number of years ago, but they've been taking it off. So I put that in there just to see what will come up. And you'll see here again, in competition prohibited, out of competition not prohibited. So you'll see a lot of athletes that will take it during their training days as a stimulant to get them excited to go do their training, but they have to be careful with taking it in competition because too much of it could cause a failure. And you'll see here it's listed as a stimulant. So this is a really great website. You have the link on the USA Powerlifting website. I'll also put the link down in the description below so that you can go check it out and you can search for whatever you want to look for. You can also see a 411 high risk list by USADA. So we'll go and check that one out as well. This one is more for supplements, whereas the Globaldro is more for medications. So they have all kinds of information here. They have their recommendation for supplements. So if you want to 100% guarantee not to fail for a supplement, well, then you don't take any supplements, obviously. Then one step below that, they recommend this NSF certified for sport company that does the third-party testing on all this, and they figure out whether the supplements are allowed or not, and if they are tainted or not. So they would recommend that as the next best one. Then there's this whole range of unknown, where it could be companies that are tested by another third-party company, maybe not tested, but maybe you'll be fine, maybe you won't. So they don't know, and they're not going to guarantee to athletes that these are okay or not. That's up to you. And then they have at the very bottom this high risk list of things that have been tested for ingredients that are banned, or for tainted ingredients, things that they know, and they have a list. There's lots of more information here as well, different resources you can look, and then we can hit view high risk list. And let's see if we can go to this list and we can take a little look at it and see what's in there. So I already have an account, so you can create your own account. It doesn't cost you anything or anything like that. And then you can look at the list, you can scan a barcode, you can search, different things like that. So let's just go to the list and see what's on there. And there you go. We have a little picture of what the bottle looks like. You have the brand name, you have the company that creates the product. It has what it could contain, whether it's an anabolic agent, a stimulant, and then different notes on how they figured out what the issue was, who was the person who figured out what the issue is, and then the date that it was updated or when it was first listed. And you can sort by these different things here. So you can always sort by company name, or you can sort by the date. So let's see if we can get it for the most recent. So here are the most recent stuff from 2020. And so if you want to see what new things have been added, you can always go through and look at it. Or like I said, you can do it by company name and see what company you use, if there's any other supplements are on here, or you can do it by brand name and you can see if the brand that you're specifically taking from that company is on here and what the issues are, so that you can avoid these things. All right. So hope that helps you out in checking not only your supplements, but also your medications to make sure that they are okay to take in competition or out of competition. And for the medications, if you need to get that Therapeutic Use Exemption, TUE, and you want to get that beforehand. Oftentimes for USAPL, they do at least 30 days beforehand. And for the International Powerlifting Federation, IPF, they oftentimes say to submit the form 60 days in advance. So they have time to review all of these requests that are coming in and then accept or decline which ones that they want. All right, so I'll put the links below for Globaldro and this 411 high risk list, so you can go and look at it. I also did a little Instagram carousel going over the same information, so I'll put the link to that below, and you can always check my Instagram for information like this in written form rather than this video form. But I'll see you next time. Who put that there? Did you put that there? Did you put that there? Come over here.